Sorry.
Hi everybody, so welcome to our second live stream. My name is Deja Gentile. I'm one of your orientation coordinators, and I have with me Ange from Reset.
Yep. Hi everyone, my name is Ange Conception, and I'm the Director of Residential Education at Wagner College. We are super duper excited to have you folks move in about 35 days, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. 35 days until move-in.
Who's counting? Oh, very cool. Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So we're here to talk to you guys a little bit about housing and academics for this upcoming year of yours. And then we'll do a little bit of Q&A. So Ange is going to talk to you about housing and housing assignments. So I'll let you go ahead.
Sure. So pretty much like most, if not all of you, should have received your housing assignment sometime last week from our assistant director. His name is Thomas Gielock, and so in that email you should have received your room assignment in Harborview Hall along with the name of your roommate in addition to your move-in time. So it's really super important that you do keep to the move-in time so as you know, the traffic flow goes like really well during the day. It might be a little stressful if everyone tried to come in at like 10 a.m. at the same time or at like 9 a.m. at the same time. So the reason why we do have that in your emails to ensure that there is a good flow to the day, and so that you and your parents and any other loved ones that are with you moving into Harborview aren't stuck in the line for 2 or 3 hours. So in addition to that, there should have been also information that directs you to our website. If not, our website also has info on suggested items to bring to your room in the residence hall. So for instance, things like toiletry items. We might forget, shower slippers, caddies, shampoo, conditioner, all that fun stuff. Things related to bedroom items such as your bed sheets, pillows, any sort of comforters that you would need, desk items like a desk lamp or any sort of organizational items, so on and so forth. So some of that list of items is located on our website at wagner.edu/res-ed, and then there's also a list of items that are prohibited in the residence halls that you also can take a look at. For any students that, if you have not, for whatever reason, received your housing assignment, you can give us a call during business hours, Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Our number is 718-390-3420, and you can speak with one of our staff members about that. For some students, we're still waiting on your application, so that might be the reason why you might not have received a housing assignment. So please be sure to call us and we'll be available to help you out. So that's move-in day.
Perfect, yeah, move-in day. Exciting time for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you guys have any questions about housing or about move-in day in general, you can feel free comment on the link that was posted on Facebook, or you can comment below on the YouTube video itself. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about academics, and if you are asking questions, we'll make sure that we get all of them in at the end. So as far as academics will go, one important announcement to note is you have to make sure that your medical forms are completely filled out and sent in before you can have access to see your schedule. Schedules are on track to be released this upcoming Monday, so it's pretty soon. You can find your schedule on My Wagner, so you can do that by logging in with your Wagner email. And once you are logged into My Wagner, you will see a tab that says academics. Under that tab on the left, there will be a bar where you can select schedule and a few other options as well. So yeah, so you can access your schedule there, and you'll be able to see who your professors will be, and then you can also see what materials you'll need for that class by going, and by materials I mean books. You can do that on the Barnes & Noble website once you know what classes you'll be taking. So a little bit about how your freshman year is going to look academically. Every freshman or incoming student this year will be placed in a learning community. We refer to them as LCs here. You'll have a freshman LC, um, which will consist of a small portion of your class. So it'll be approximately 20 students or so in that class with you for your entire first semester. Later in your Wagner career, you will take an intermediate learning community, otherwise known as an ILC. If you study abroad, that can also count as an ILC credit. And then your senior year, you will be placed in a senior LC. And you'll be working on your thesis and or senior capstone, but all of those things are pretty far in advance. You won't need to worry too much about that yet. But just so you know, once you come in, that's how that will work out. And your learning community, you will be with them during orientation weekend. All of you will have a community leader for each LC. So yeah, that's a little bit about your academic life. If you have any questions, we're up to answering them for you all.
Do they need to have a major in order to be in an LC?
No, you do not need to have a major in order to be in an LC. Nobody is asking you to come in and absolutely know what you're going to declare yet. So if you come in undeclared or you're a little unsure, or even if you are going into something and you may change your mind later in the game, I know plenty of people who do, I've done it, so that's totally okay. Every single student will have an LC no matter what your major and no matter whether or not you have a major yet or not. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, any questions?
I'm going to see. So a note about general education requirements. All students are going to have to complete gen eds, as we call them, regardless of your major. I know some of the programs are developed so you'll take gen eds that more so apply to your program. For instance, the PA program is pretty strictly scheduled in that regard, but every single student has to take certain gen ed classes. Yep. Great. Yeah. No questions so far. That's about it. Yeah. Do you have any tips for living at Wagner College?
Sure. I think probably one of the first things that a lot of students like come in when they live on campus. For the most part, we've noted that for a lot of you, this is probably like your first time living with another person, and also like living in close quarters with some other classmates, and so that can be an adjustment sometimes, especially when you do have to share some of the items. So it's really important, since you did receive for those that did that are living on campus that did receive roommate information, to connect with your roommate to double check to see like, hey, like what are some things that you can bring? What are some things that I can bring that we can share together? Because there is a limited amount of space in the room. So sometimes, like some funny stories that I've seen is like students have brought in like two 50-inch screen TVs for the room. That might not be completely necessary. So it's but sometimes like they didn't realize that, oh, like Deja was going to bring a 50-inch screen TV and I'm going to bring in a 50-inch screen TV. So why don't we could share the cost, or maybe she can just bring it and I'll bring something else like a Keurig or a fridge or something or another. So I think probably getting to know your roommate is really important, like especially like right before and like during the first like couple of weeks, so that you get to know, like Deja's into X, Y, and Z, or she likes to sing and she likes to cook and she likes to do all these sorts of things. I might like to play guitar, or I like to sing. We might like to both get up early or take a walk, go for a run around the college, which is really cool. So So some of those sorts of things are pretty important because you want to know, like, especially like what, like how your compatibility like with your roommate, and also like what kind of interests like you two share, or interests that you might not share with your roommate that might be interesting to kind of learn about from another person. So I think, especially like within the first couple weeks, there's like so many folks that are here on campus. You're trying to get to know everybody. I think it can be a little intimidating at times, and so I would say like another piece of advice that I would have for those, whether you are living on campus or off campus, is to try and not be like nervous, because I know that everyone like definitely wants to make friends and wants to have like, their best friend like figured out by like the second week, which if that happens, like that's totally awesome and that's totally fine. But you do have like your 4 years here at Wagner to meet as many people here on campus. So I would say like please take the time to do that and get to meet like different folks that you otherwise might not have interacted with. So for instance, when I was in college, like I was into singing and whatnot, and I needed to make sure that I didn't just hang out with like the music kids. I also tried to join like different sorts of clubs, and it was a really great experience for me, like joining different clubs, because I got to meet like some of like my best friends that I still keep in touch with many years now after graduating. So you might not know that if you join chess club, or if you join a different sort of intramural club, that you could be meeting like other folks that might be lifelong friends, which I think is like pretty cool. But I would say, yeah, like don't be too nervous coming in. You will meet other students, but yeah.
Absolutely. So Allie, who is my co-coordinator, has brought us a couple of good points. So moving out over breaks, do you have to move out over a break?
Okay, so that's a great question. You actually don't need to move out over some of our break periods. So for example, we have Columbus Day weekend as like kind of a mini break period, Thanksgiving, we also have Easter and spring break. So those are the break periods in which like we don't like our residence halls do not close. We do expect though like the break period between fall semester and the spring semester, so that's considered our winter break. That's after the end of our December finals and right before the start of the spring semester. We do have students like move out during that break period, because we will not have any staff members here on campus. And then obviously at the end of the semester, we would have students move out unless they're taking summer classes, which is a different process. So yeah.
Awesome. Another good question is laundry. How can students get their laundry done?
So the laundry services in Harborview Hall, we have these updated laundry machines that take credit and debit cards. If you do not have a credit card or a debit card, you can go to our bookstore and purchase one of those prepaid cards or gift cards that they do have at hand there. They do not accept any the laundry machines do not accept change, so we did have some students try to like feed in some change or some dollar bills in there, so it only does take credit cards, so on and so forth. And they do sell some of laundry like items like in the bookstore, like Tide and laundry detergent, so on and so forth. So we do have a good amount of those materials there as well. So especially like probably like within the first like week or so, if for some reason like doing laundry might be the first time like you might be doing it, we do have like some RAs and some staff members that are more than happy to like show you how our laundry machines work, since they might be a little different from machines that you've had at home or at the laundry place. So
yeah, for sure. So is there cable and Wi-Fi in the rooms?
Yes, there is cable and Wi-Fi in the rooms. We would ask that you have a coaxial cable. that is that you could bring. Some rooms do have coaxial cables that you can connect to your TV so that you can obtain the cable. We do also have Wi-Fi all throughout campus, and the way in which you can obtain Wi-Fi is you would use your Wagner All Access username and password to get onto the system. So
Awesome. Another question for Ange.
Yeah, sure.
Is there a place where you can cook your own meal on campus?
Yes, so there is, we do have one place where you can, if you would like to kind of test out your skills in the kitchen, we have the Guild Hall kitchen that is available for students to reserve for a 24-hour period. So that particular space, because it is cleaned at the beginning and end of each semester, we do expect students to be able to clean up after themselves at the kitchen, and so because of that, we do have a particular access for that. So students would need to email our residential education office or give us a call to get some specifics on how you can reserve the key for the kitchen so that you can pick it up and then use it to cook me and Deja some like awesome food. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So another question, will there be a time for schedule changes during orientation? So the answer to that is yes. If for whatever reason you need to change your schedule around, there will be a time for you to do that during orientation weekend. Your community leader will be able to direct you about where to go and how to do that, but we will have a period of time in order for you to do that if need be. Yeah. So if you guys have any other questions, please let us know. So yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, let us know. We do have another question. So how much space is there under the beds? You're trying to figure out what size storage units to buy.
Okay,
So do you
sure.
want to talk about like
There's actually like two different types of beds that are currently in Harborview Hall right now. So there's one type of bed that is, excuse me, that you're able to adjust and you can fit probably something that's about like, I would like to say anywhere between a foot to about 1.5 foot of stuff underneath the bed. We also have a second type of bed that is that's non-adjustable, but we do have what do you call those, bed risers.
Yeah.
We have some bed risers that are available for purchase in the bookstore, and also like you can purchase it at like something like a Target or a Bed Bath and Beyond. So I would say like anything where the clearance of it about 1 foot to 1.5 foot underneath the bed. Sometimes some students can adjust for the beds that are adjustable. They can put it on the highest setting where they're able to put in their chest of drawers like underneath, and I would say that's probably like, I don't know, dimensions.
I honestly am not sure. I'm not sure what exactly the dimensions would be.
Okay, Erin,
yeah.
I'm going to go do some recon work, and I'm going to get the exact dimensions that you can store belongings like underneath the bed, and I can get that to you probably tomorrow and email you at your Wagner email address. But that's a good question.
Yeah, for sure. And also speaking about storage under the beds, as Ange mentioned, like bed risers are really great. You can store things under there. You can request a lofting kit when you move in. I personally have had my bed lofted. I lofted my bed all of my freshman year and all of my sophomore year, which works out really well considering space is a little bit limited in the rooms. So you want to make sure that you utilize as much space as possible. Although I know plenty of people who didn't loft either bed. So it's really up to you to kind of determine what the best the best fit is for you and your roommate. But if you don't want to loft your beds, as Ange mentioned, bed risers are great. Give you a little bit more space and you're there to store things. But with bins, I had a pretty large size bin that I got from like Target or Bed Bath & Beyond. And that fit fine under a non-lofted bed. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you folks can, as Deja mentioned, like you folks at the beginning of move-in, we do have a limited amount of lofting kits that are available so that you can have that added or that extra, I guess like space underneath your bed. I've seen some students be able to store like their desk and have their own little entertainment center underneath their bed and then climb up onto the bed. So we do have a limited amount of lofting kits that are available that you can check out around the time of move-in and during the first week, and you would need to just fill out a form saying that, hi, my name is like Deja and I live in Harborview like 456 and I'm renting out this lofting kit, and then at the end of the year you would return that lofting kit to our front office. So
Yep. So it's a pretty easy process. Okay, so a couple more points. Key to academic success at Wagner. Of course, everybody's study habits are going to be different, and everybody's learning habits are going to be different. But as a general sense, I would really just say that time management is a really key thing to keep in mind. And if you're not so good at time management, perhaps find a buddy that is a little better at it than you, help you out a little bit. But really, I think that's a big thing, and especially because I believe that, at least in my experience, campus climate, people like to be pretty involved on campus. So definitely if you're joining clubs or if you're on a sports team, time management is going to be one of the best things in your life. I definitely recommend getting up to date with like Google Calendar, or I even carry around a planner with me. I like pen and paper. And another thing to mention about that is like classroom setting. You can bring your laptop to class with you most of the time. Most professors are pretty lenient about that. They don't mind if you use your laptop to take notes, but some professors would prefer that you didn't. And personally, like I mentioned, I like to handwrite. I keep like a written planner, and I also handwrite most of my notes, which I kind of use as a good study habit as well, because I like to handwrite and then go back and type up my notes, which makes me review. So that's pretty good. Good places to study on campus. Definitely the library is always open to you. So the library has 3 levels. The very top floor is completely silent study. I usually like to lock myself up there if I have papers due. And it's pretty nice because there are some alcoves that you can go into. They have private desks. They have like some tables where you could sit with others, which is nice. Second floor of the library is more of an open space. You can chat quietly on that floor of the library. And that setup is mostly just tables where you sit to study and do work. Also on the second floor of the library, there are 3 study rooms that you can rent out at the front desk. So basically, if you have 3 or more people, you can reserve a room and use it if you have to work on a presentation, if you just want to get together with a group of classmates to study for upcoming tests or quizzes or go over a homework or something like that. That's a really good idea. And in the basement of the library is mostly student tutoring. So if you need help with any of your classes, usually your professors will tell you in the beginning of the course who your student tutor will be, and you can usually shoot them an email. They'll have you meet them downstairs. One more thing I forgot. On the second floor of the library, we also have the writing center. So if you're writing a paper, you're not sure where to start, or you need it to be edited, or you're stuck in the middle, you can make an appointment at the writing center and somebody can help you out with your paper, whether it be research paper, reflection, literature paper, any of the above. Somebody would be there to help you out. Another good point, it's really good to familiarize yourself with Google Drive. because if you're using, it's kind of inevitable, you will probably have a group project at some point during your college career. So Google Drive really saves lives, honestly. It makes everything a lot easier. Multiple people can work on documents, presentations at once. So definitely familiarize yourself with that. And speaking of Google and like familiarizing yourself with group work and things like that, a big tip would be to make sure you stay on top of your Wagner email. And especially now as we get closer and closer to move-in and classes starting, please make sure that you're checking your Wagner email for updates and any issues that may occur. I know like the health center may email you if they need something for your medical form, or if any other department has any information for you about your classes or just about Wagner in general. It's a good idea to start getting on top of that email. So yeah. Okay, so another question. So how much does laundry cost, and how many machines are available in Harborview? And how many students are on the 14th floor? How many showers are available?
Very specific questions.
Yes.
So in terms of the
Laundry.
machines, it is, I want to make sure I get this right, it is $150 to wash and $125 to dry, and so that tends to be the cost of the of like doing like one load of laundry, so like load to wash, load to dry. Each floor in Harborview tends to have anywhere between like 40 to about 44, 46 students that live on the floor, and each wing has its own restroom. I'd like to say that there are anywhere between 3 to 4 bathroom stalls, and also about 2 or 3 showers. I'm trying to visualize 2 or 3 showers, and then some wings do have like a private bathtub / shower area. So some of those wings do have that.
Yeah, but I've lived in Harborview all of freshman year. I live in Harborview now. I'll be living there this year as well. You never have a problem. Like I have never had an issue where I'm like, oh, I really got to get in the shower and somebody else is in the shower. I don't know. It doesn't really tend to happen too often. So that's good. So the second part to that question was, you got it. That was about the showers. Never mind. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, sure. Let us know if there are any other last minute questions. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking pretty good.
Okay, super.
Yeah. So if there are no other questions, we're going to wrap up this live stream. Thank you very much for tuning in with us. You can always refer back to this live stream. If you click on this link, it'll bring you back and you can get some of this information if you need it again, if you need a refresher. We're all super excited for you all to be joining us at Wagner College. 35 days away. That's pretty exciting stuff. Yeah.
It's like a month and 5 days.
Yeah.
We're super excited.
But it'll definitely be great. So we'll definitely see you all soon. Thank you again for tuning in. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can always email orientation@wagner.edu, and we'll be sure to get back to you if you have any kinds of questions. You can also reach out to myself or Allie on Facebook through the Facebook page or messages, any of the above. There will also be one other live stream about move-in, so like a last minute check-in. So if you have any like last minute questions, you're like, oh no, like what about this for move-in? We'll have another live stream on August 10th. 21st, excuse me, my fault. So we'll have a live stream August 21st for any last minute questions that you may have. Great.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Have a super day.
Thank you.